Teacups, what's brewing? Welcome back to the channel. I am fervently hoping that the light does much of the heavy lifting today because, I'm not looking my best. I spent the afternoon at the dentist. I was meant to go in for a clean and polish, but I'd gone in week before last, because I had a cavity that needed filling. And I thought a few days ago that it had come out because I felt something crunchy when I was eating, and which wasn't the best. And I could feel like a rough edge at what felt like a hole. And so I went back to the dentist and she said, no, there was a slight depression, like the beginning of a cavity there before. But if you're feeling it, I can feel that now. So the original filling was still there, but there was more work to be done. It might have been what I felt before. And maybe it just got worse because they'd worked on that area. I don't know. But I was intending to go for a clean and polish. She was really nice with helping me out with the bill, though, because I think I mentioned last time I don't have dental insurance. I have medical but not dental. And so she'd agreed, it's meant to be 30. She'd agreed on 25 with me. But then they charge you a flat 5 real fee to see the dentist if you're a cash patient. And she looked at my receipt, because you have to pay it before you go up. And she said, oh, no, we already had, because it's a consultation fee essentially, we already had a consultation last time and I told you to come back. So you don't need to be charged this, we just charged the first one. So she sent her assistant down with me and they charged me 20, so it would be a total of 25. So that's something at least. She was kind enough to do that, and she charged me for the clean and polish, but didn't charge me for the extra work she had done on the tooth. So could have been worse, but it meant I got home and my jaw was a bit painful because I'd obviously had my mouth open and stuff, and she'd been pressing on it and things, and I fell asleep, which wasn't the best because you guys, I realise you're here for the react and not for my life update, but here you are anyway. I am busy next week, and that's actually the reason why I'm getting this in now. It's very unlikely that you will have videos from me during the work week next week. I say famous last words because the last time I said this, last time I said I wasn't going to react the next day, Poopgate started, but it's highly unlikely you're going to get anything from me next week. I have some deadlines which I was semi-prepared for, but then they sent a message around the other day saying, oh, we want to change the format of how we're saying these things. They want it in more student-friendly language, so I've got to redo the work I did. Something in my schedule has changed because of the rain days, so I've got a lot of stuff to complete this week, but because of the rain days, we've also got some events on, which means we've got less time in the classroom, and I've got a teacher training after school. Is it tomorrow? I'm going to have to check, but I've got 3 hours after school because it was that or coming on the weekend, and I didn't want to come in on the weekend, but when I made that decision, I didn't realise what else was going on, and I've got some parent meetings next week, so I've got a lot to prep. And luckily for me, who was it? Barbecue Chicken put out like a 6 or 7 minute video that was like an overview of Foodie's week, so we are going with that right now. I have had her on in the background while I've been doing other things, but her content has been a slog. Like, she has had some dreck out this week. There was a point, I think, in the pizza mukbang where she was like, yeah, I've got nothing. I was like, yeah, I mean, not untrue, which is rare for you, but yeah, there wasn't a lot in it. And she does this occasionally. She does think, no, I'll starve the reactors. I'll put out some really dull content. She's not above cutting off her nose to spite her face at all. Recently, she privated everything before the Kuwait arc, and at times like this, when sentiment is worsening around her, let's put it that way, or she's had a big scandal the way the Salah stuff was, she does rely on shutting everything down and hoping to generate some new audience, but a lot of the interest in her channel is the mess. A lot of the reacts to her channel are the mess. So when people go looking for more or stumble upon more, that's generally what keeps them there. Not always, but generally. But the thing with her removing that content isn't that it affects us. We've all got archives, but the people who might be trying to follow her just have a harder time of it. So she's shooting herself in the foot, but it's not necessarily hitting anybody else. It's not a lesson she'll ever learn, but there we go. So there have been some lives. There was also this thumbnail I've got up here, cheating on my diet, which was a pizza mukbang. Sorry, I just got a message. But there was nothing super noteworthy in it, so we're just going to take this recap and we're going to go from there. So cheating on my diet was pure clickbait because, darling, what diet? What about what you have eaten makes you think you're on a diet? So she's sitting here with the pizza, with the pickle jar, not even pickles, the pickle jar, and what looks like Coke or Pepsi. I'd imagine she put it into a glass so that we couldn't see the can because, hey, the boycotts.
Well, hello, beautiful people.
Hello.
Welcome back to another video. I'm your host, Miriam, aka Chantal, aka Foodie Beauty. This is not...
Trying hard.
Oh, my leg. This is not diet food.
No, it is not. And given that you shifted and complained about your leg, I would have thought that would be more problematic, but it is Foodie after all. I'm not calling her Mariam at the moment, unless I feel particularly sarcastic, because there has been no change between Mariam and Foodie. It's Foodie by a different name, but all the whole actions of, no, I'm going to be better, I'm going to ignore, I'm going to change my life, I'm going to update my channel, I'm going to generate a new audience, I'm going to be a different person. No, she's just been raging the reactors for days.
Diet food. Yeah, so just struggling with eating healthier today, making a healthy choice, so this is what I'm eating, pizza.
When you say today, there was actually, I saw this linked on Twitter somewhere. My apologies to the person who made it, but there was a nurse, an RN, that was talking about her injections, because Foodie's been saying she's been getting vitamin injections, not pain injections. And I'm pro-education, so I was like, oh great, it's always good when people in the industry are able to come out and talk about things. It was quite a long video. I think it was it was some hours, but the summary of it seems to be that it's more likely that the vitamin injection is for diabetic neuropathy. As I say, I clicked through the video, realised how long it was, and then didn't have time. But I'm sure she explains it better than I'm explaining it. I am not a medical professional, so feel free to go look that up. That had been an element of conversation before. She's not the first to say it. But I always like, if you've got somebody who does have a look into that particular area in some either professional sense, I find it a much better source of information, because then when you're saying, hey, that doesn't make sense, hey, these steps do not seem to be what they should be, they at least have a good reason to. Which is why I think people tend to watch me for like the visa stuff, because I'm more experienced in that. But anyway, let's move on.
I go through these phases where I like super obsessed over the like certain food.
We know.
And I did go through a pizza, like everyday pizza.
She clearly needed more sauce.
Pizza. Like when I was
like they put sauce on it, you can see the orange.
The only thing, that's like the only reason I probably don't eat it every day.
It makes me sad. Zoom in on that because I can ignore it up until then. But you can't tell me she's cleaned her hands recently.
Because of the effort you have to put into making it.
Oh, and straight in the pickle jar.
Like,
that looks difficult to do. Like, it would be easier on her to have a fork or a spoon, and yet this is what she does.
Like they were going out of style. So, I don't really have much to talk about. I don't really feel like talking much.
And yet the camera is on.
A stingray.
She literally, I watched this thinking there might be something in it, but she did tell us that apparently all animals hate her because camels kick her and apparently stingrays have bitten her. I thought they stung. I thought that was the point of the name, but sometimes things are not named congruently. But just there was very little there in a way that would have almost been impressive. Probably nitpicking here, but it bothers me so much when people don't clean their hands before grabbing their fork or glass. Lol. If it's noticeable on the glass, it bothers me as well. I might be nitpicky, but there we are. But I think our knowledge of where those hands have been are probably not helping us here.
Time for Popeye. I'm just joking.
she's not joking. It's wish fulfillment thinking.
I have a backup pot pie instead of a
Oh,
backup sandwich.
her pot pie looked appalling. She was like, I can't believe people are focusing on the freezer burnt veggies. I mean, that was part of it, but the fact that you put them in still frozen, topped it with the chicken, and then whatever that sauce was meant to be, the color of it was unfortunate. No wonder it always comes out looking like that. Like, I'm not an expert cooker, and oh, actually, I think I did do a video on pot pie at some point. I might have a video on chicken pot pie on my other channel. I'm gonna have to go back and check that, I'm sure I do. But like, there are better ways to do it than she did, put it that way. If I can find my video, I'll link it. I'm not saying I'm better, but geez, it was a low bar.
That was not even filling. That's not good. We're going, bitches. It was too thin. It was like eating a big pita.
Yeah, a pita of that size would be filling, but here we are. And again, she did this before, where with the sushi, she was like, oh, this isn't even going to fill me up. Well, if you know 18 pieces of sushi aren't going to fill you up, why don't you go and choose something that will and then not die?
Alright guys, well, that's it. I'm going to shut up and get off.
That was literally the thing.
Alright guys, we're going to pick up some breakfast / lunch here. There's a lot of these little restaurants here in Kuwait. They sell like fataya, they sell pizza, they sell falafel, they sell shawarma, they sell all kinds of things. So we're going to grab a few things. I'll show you.
We have a load of those. They're little roadside stores. There's no place to sit in them. There's sometimes like lawn furniture outside. And a lot of the time, people will just drive up, beep the horn, the person will come out and they'll order it and they'll bring it out to the car. So it's a drive-through without a drive-through, essentially.
What we get before we hit the road, we're going to go for a long drive. I always love long drives, as I always said, so yellow. Yellow. Hey guys, so we're going to check out this creepy abandoned school we came across here in Moscow.
This actually kind of had the potential to be a good video, right? Amazing, I know. But the kind of urban decay angle, a bit like when she wanted to go to the boatyard, like, it can be interesting. I don't know if I said this when we did the boatyard trip, actually, I can't remember. But in Japan, there's a place called Gunkenjima, which it's also known as the Battleship Island. And basically at one point, it was the most densely populated place on Earth, I think. I might be misremembering. But it was an island where they had like an industry thing on one side. And everything else on the other side was built up to be living quarters. So they had a school, they had apartments, all of it. But when the industry closed, they were taken out really quickly. So everything was just left. It was literally just abandoned. So you can go in and there's still stuff in the apartments. But they didn't demolish it, they just kind of left it to rot. And so for a long time, you couldn't go on there because it was dangerous, but you could like bribe a fisherman and pay to get sent over. But you're just careful not to get caught. I think nowadays they do ferry tours around the island, but you can search for some older photos and things online of people who have literally just paid a fisherman to take them over and then taken pictures like sitting in the schools and stuff. And obviously it's dangerous because, you know, it's been falling down, it's not up to safety practices now, you can get hurt. But it's interesting to see, and it is mildly creepy. So this stuff she's doing now, I'm guessing no one's been asked for permission here, so they're just going in, so on their own heads be it. But it could be interesting in a way that she did not really make it.
And I don't know, it's daytime. It'd be creepy at night, but let's go see what we find. And I'm walking slow, sorry about that.
People have been saying a lot, the music while she waddles kills me, about how she's walking slowly. And yes, this is sped up, so you can't really see it. I was a little surprised to see her actually like lifting her leg, to be honest, because she was kind of dragging it before, which I remember when I had problems with my knee and had to have physiotherapy. That was the problem I had. I woke up one morning and I just couldn't move it and I had to kind of drag one leg. And when I finally got downstairs to go and ask for some help, just something kind of either clicked in or loosened up or something and it started working again. And then I went and got some physio on it. So as bad as her movement is, as concerning as her movement is, it seems to have improved a little bit. She does tend to pick and choose when she dramatizes it bothering her.
like piles of sand hills.
Parts of trash too, yeah, but it's abandoned. That wouldn't surprise me. Dunes? I mean, they're not very big to be dunes, but...
And there's beetles, these weird bugs I've never seen before.
You've never seen a beetle? I think they're mating. Leave them alone. They want privacy. They are quite large, though. Or they might be fighting, to be fair. I don't think that's really the point of the video, but in terms of stuff happening, I suppose.
They're friends. So unfortunately, I can't do too many adventurous things because of my leg right now is injured, but...
And that is basically her entire attitude. It's like, yeah, I brought you to a place, but I can't because I'm physically unable. So there you go. There you go. So this is the video. Like I say, a bit of a waste. She does send Salah in, and we will see a sped up version of that. But for the potential of what the video could have been, like, get some work done on your hip, do whatever, and actually make it a reasonable video. Because this is something she could have not escalated. I suppose it would have been escalated on her case. Sounds a bit negative. Developed. Just areas, because I'm sure there are other areas like this. But instead, we don't know anything about this.
Classrooms are full of sand. Whew. I'm gonna try to make it over here.
She does not seem prepared for rocks on the ground. It can be hard to walk in, but...
I love abandoned places, so when I saw this, I'm like, I want to check it out, even if it's hard for me.
Right, but is there not an entrance? I mean, there's no windows. There must be a door somewhere.
There's some paneling here.
She walks on this way more confidently than I necessarily would, right? You don't know what that paneling is covering. Now, probably it's just because that's a mud track, and if they've had rains, or they get rains, that area probably becomes puddles, and so it helps you to walk over. But there could be a hole directly under that. How capable of holding Foodie's weight do you think that panel is? You see the dark spot in the middle? Oh, that's terrifying. You walk up... Oh, sorry, it stopped an Andy. This? What is this position? Like, I'm sorry. Trying to hike yourself up there like the Little Mermaid. Like, what are you doing? She just wants to feel part of the video, I'm guessing, but man, this is not helpful to you, my dear. And that's why she's put it in. It's to promote conversation when she doesn't have a lot of content. But you've run all the way there. You've made it down the path. Like, come on, just go inside. Alright, so Salah goes through. Like, there's nothing in there, but it could have been interesting. It's quite a big building. Oh, that's good. So yeah, could have been interesting, wasn't really. She's about to tell us about other things that could have been interesting, but weren't.
Fortunately, on our way from the school to the farms, it started raining pretty heavily, which is normal in the winter here in Kuwait. So we decided to head home because the farm is an outdoor activity, and we did not have an umbrella. But don't worry, we will eventually show you around the various farms here in Wafa.
I'm not worried about that. I'm more worried about her doing it because her farm visits tend to be terrible. Either because she is the way she is with her content, or because the farms themselves just make you sad. I would prefer less animal content in her stuff. In terms of the rain, we don't get a lot of rain here, but there has been a storm system going through. That's why we had a couple of days off last week. So it may be that whatever has been causing problems in this whole area has moved over to Kuwait, perhaps. Again, something she could have added to her video, but chose not to.
Well guys, thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye!
Alright. So, this one, excuse me cutting you off there, barbecue, but basically the only real point of interest here was the appearance of Salah. So this was originally titled something else. It was Good Morning or Early Bees or something quite generic like that. But during the chat, Salah came into the chat, which I think was the whole point of having this live to begin with. there's been a lot of talk about how Foodie's behavior has been changing a little, and like how she's been streaming at odd hours. She's not worried about being quiet. All the things that were a concern from her before, or showed signs of Salah being there before, she hasn't been showing recently. So Foodie addressed without addressing, but kind of addressing this. Salah came into the chat. She seemed as surprised as anybody else, whether she was acting or not. But then, as proof of life, at the very end, she was about to go, and then she was like, oh, no, you need to see Howie, which no one needed to do. But it gave a reason for Salah to come into the room and give the hamster to her. So we got some proof of life, and then as a laugh, because she doesn't lie well, she was like, oh, see, people are going to say you don't live here now. So clearly it's on her mind, and people will say that because you made a point and then you changed the title to My Love Says Hi, because that's what you want people to focus on. I don't think they're having a lot of contact at the moment. I think they're trying to do whatever they need to do with whatever situation they're in to present it a certain way online. But the last couple of times, there's been a little more Salah talk, and I thought the deal was they were going to be off forever. So, I don't know, she's not great at consistency, but she still wants to be able to say, well, where's your man? And I'm like, not shitting on other people's chests. But she doesn't like it when people can answer that way, so she's got to rebuild the love story. Okay, everybody, so I think that's everything. Let me just check. Okay, there wasn't anything else. As Barbecue herself said, the videos were quite stale this week, and we'll see where this goes. She can't afford for the videos to continue this way long term. She's going to have to bring in some drama. The reactor drama wasn't doing much for her and makes her look a fool because she gives these big speeches about how she's above it now. But she doesn't really have much else to fall back on. So I'm going to go and edit this and then try and get some of my work done. I probably won't see you for a few days, but I'll try and keep an eye on things if I can, and if not, I will see you later. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you for being here.